Hello,
Awesome.
folks. Hello, folks. Hi, Abhishek. You need to do the setting thingy to know whether what is being seen, whether it's a gallery setting or whatever that is. I'm also opening up YouTube just to see if the visual
Yeah.
thing is fine to get some comments. Somebody who is alone and saying hi. Somebody named alone is saying hi. I know. I think that's a dab symbol, right? And then I think Jatin is here. I can see from all these comments and pictures that people are going berserk with the pineapple hasn't come yet, Jatin. I don't know if this UI is pineapple friendly. Hello, people. Hello, folks. Good to see all of you. Lovely Friday evening. Hi to all of you. It's it's uh, it's going to be a fun session. We have something interesting lined up. We should have a discussion on how to prepare for CAT. We're trying to mix and match. We're trying to balance out the fun parts of what this is about, this session about, and how and have a middle section where we drill down and talk about the serious ideas of preparing with a structure. A couple of kind of housekeeping announcements. Anytime you have a question or query, put on chat, but hold on for the first 20-25 minutes when we have the structured part there. The first 7-8 minutes when it's fun and you want to say, hey, this work, that picture is nice, do that by all means. But after that, when you do the structured part, if you have some questions, hang on to that, hold on to it. We will have at least 20 minutes to do Q&A. We will cover the ground to kind of clarify and sound out on the doubts you may have. We'll take effort to clarify that. So hang on till then. Anytime something is wrong, you can't hear me, my volume is out, my mic is out, lights go off, there's a power cut, then scream and shout away to glory. And so we're all among the most fun people in India who've taken this idea of taking a Saturday evening and saying, how shall we prepare for a conference? So pat on our backs, and so we should all be very thrilled and happy about it. So people will be thinking dinner jana hai, movie jana hai, दोस्तों से मिलना है, they're like, look,
डेट
we'll
पे
talk about
डेट पे जाना
date पे
या
शादी बुके मेरे बहुत साल हो गए ना तो I'm not
no
taking
exactly
date.
नहीं नहीं वो अब I'm just saying for the Gen Z crowd, right? वो तो बेचारे
Yeah.
अपना dates छोड़ के they've come here, so I mean, you know.
So that is so pat on the back. So that's a
Yeah.
big plus for seriousness. Good evening to all of you. Many tomorrow's. I can all sleep in and wake up a little later. You don't have to come on the treadmill for Sunday morning. Good to see all of you. I'm going to, if Abhishek, the go ahead is there, can I slip into the screen share and that mode? That
Right.
works?
So I'm just gonna. By the way, folks. Hey, sorry, I was a little distracted in the beginning. So hey, everyone, and yeah. So I'm gonna be with Rajesh throughout the session. I'll of course, come back for VRC, and I'll take you through the VRC sort of plan that I have in mind, starting from March. And we're gonna do Q&A at the end. So a lot of you, I've seen your questions, great questions that you folks posted. So we're gonna try and answer as many questions as possible. And there's also a small surprise at the end from our 2 team. Abhishek from our team has specifically mentioned multiple times to let you know that there's a surprise at the end, small surprise. So please do stick around for that small surprise. All right. Okay. I will
Lovely.
see you folks in some time. Yeah.
I'm just making sure that my other screens and some nasty surprisey screens are not shared. Then I'm going to give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Hello, folks. I hope my screen is shared and you can all see me and kind of continue to hear me. So I'm going to check with this. Lovely. This is fine. Lovely. So I'm going to take you through this. I think the screen has been shared nice and fine. I can see that on chat as well. Lovely. So when you're preparing for CAT, when you're saying, look, I'm going on this journey, you need to have a sense of how you operate. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to take to some global things that people tend to miss out on. People tend to not factor in when they're beginning their preparation. This holds good for freshers who are attempting CAT for the first time and for people with experience who have already gone through this journey the whole time. Are you Bumrah or are you Jadeja? Right? Bumrah is, if you think about cricket and you say, look, there's batting, bowling, and fielding, then Bumrah is God in bowling. and kind of okay in fielding and kind of okay, just above okay in batting. He doesn't count. But the god he is in one specialization, one section, one aspect of his game is sufficient. He can pull so much weight that he doesn't have to bat. Jadeja is pretty nifty in all three, and he contributes across the board. So, as a person preparing for this exam, you need to know whether you're going to be the person who looks to score 99th percentile in one section and 90 in the other two, or your preferred section plan is going to be 93, 93, 93. It can be 80, 80, 95. I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm not talking about what percentile you should score. I'm just referring to the idea of, hey, are you someone with a giant spike in one section and something that goes amiss in the other two? Or if not, not something going amiss, but the other two are not giant strengths. You have one big strength and two small towers. Or are you balanced? Your preparation strategy will depend on this. How much time you spend per section is going to be heavily linked to whether you have a giant spike in one section and kind of modest, decent other two sections, or you're well balanced. If you're very quant strong, then your quant should be linked to practice and cracking and speed. And verbal and RDI is where you learn and from fundas. You're very language strong. You're super happy. And you'll read away to glory. Nothing else. You got your fundas right. And bend over backwards and crack. And so that understanding of where you stand is super important. Having said that, this is what Jatin put through. Sorry, not Abhishek put me. He said, look, this is for people who have a sense of what their strong section is in character. But that is not where we are. In which case, you power through, you motor along. You say, hey, I don't know yet, I'll figure this out. Lots of times, we guys are giving frameworks. Don't force fit yourself into these frameworks just because this is a framework that's been provided to you. It's not applicable. If you really don't know what your strong section is, just prepare in a standard fashion. And then one section seems like getting honed into a strength, shift your strategy. You do not need to have all the answers today. All pieces of advice need not be applicable to you today or tomorrow or in October or November. You pick and choose what seems to make sense for you, what seems to resonate with you, and carry on. I'm going to cover the ground on some of the typical, I wouldn't say mistakes, but missteps some people tend to make. Mistake in prioritization by not knowing what to prioritize. And I'm going to cover that. So, lots of time when you're preparing for the exams. Aspirants spend a lot of time listening to YouTube Gyan and hanging out in prep forums and figuring out what is the best way to attack this and what is the greatest section, what happened in last 3 years, CAT, what is the pattern and all that. So kind of fringes of CAT preparation. And then they tend to prepare less and completely ignore mocks. There's one thing that I think is the mistake number one that students do while preparing. That is underestimating mocks, the role mocks play. Those of you who have taken CAT once, you probably know what I'm referring to. You've probably done this. You probably wanted to finish all your syllabus and then start taking mock, and then it started happening from first week of September. You took 8, 10 mocks, and then in October 20, it felt like, oh, this is what it is finally. Now I'm getting the hang of it. And then suddenly there are only 4 more weeks for CAT. So it takes a while to make sense of this exam. It takes a few mocks to get the hang of it. So be very kind of cognizant of it. Right now, it might not seem to make sense to you because you're starting your preparation. Some of you are just beginning out. And then somebody is saying prioritize mock. It's like, क्या बोल रहा है यार, मेरे को कुछ नहीं पता इसके बारे में. But keep this, the recesses of your brain, and then come back to it in a couple of months and say, look, I may not finish syllabus. I might not be even close to finishing syllabus today, but take mock section. Likewise, verbal. I know verbal is Jatin's territory. He's just probably glaring at me right now. Again, the tips and tricks from YouTube, solving lots of RCs, what gets shot over, what gets completely trod on. People just don't give it sufficient leisure reading. I'm a gigantic fan of the idea of leisure reading being a big foundational concept for verbal. And very often people say, I'll solve a few RCs, I'll read only RC passages. Why do I need to read unwittingly? There are going to be a few exceptions who can crack CAT and do well without any leisure reading. But I must tell you, that's not the foolproof way of doing it. the best way to get comfortable with English is to say, I'm going to hang in here and read a ton of things all the time from different sources to build the base for reading. The same thing for quant. People get carried away with ideas like reminders and factorial and Apollonius theorem and whatever not. Really tough, crazy parts of number theory, number systems, permutation probability, and then some weird ideas in trigonometry. People have known people to study sine of a plus b, cos of a minus b, all of that. Then they go and attack all kinds of algebra, a power 4 minus b power 4, a cube plus b cube, all kinds of that. And then they tend to underestimate it. The arithmetic questions don't seem challenging, don't push you hard, but they are the bread and butter of this exam. You crack arithmetic, you'll go places. You'll go places if you crack arithmetic. Lots of times arithmetic gets covered, but does not get conquered. You cover profit and loss percentages ratios, and you feel like, or can. And then you realize there are 22 questions in quant, and in arithmetic, there have been 10, 11 of them. They have managed to comfortably crack 6, which is absurd. Someone who's on top of their game will crack those 11 in 22 minutes. And then they have another 18 minutes to go after the tougher topics and slightly crazier one. They're already at 98.5 percentile or better, 99.2, 99.2. And so arithmetic is a bedrock. So don't cover it. Be ruthlessly brilliant in it. It's very simple stuff. Absolutely no rockstar stuff. Grab it completely. LRDI doesn't get categorized easily. Doesn't fall into pots. There's an eternal struggle for us guys, coaching institute guys and experts and influencers and the whole environment around CAT preparation and the CAT preparation folks, you guys, to say I have finished the syllabus, that I have that I have done something where I've completed practice questions and sequences and tournaments and whatever not. And so very keen to sign off on this. Tell yourself that syllabus has got completed. Now that time I do some random tough puzzles from some crazy part of it. These two are less important. This is a ball game. Absolute ball game. Everything sits here. Do not find yourself in a position where you're not covered this. Nearly 100 puzzles that are previous year questions. Solve a puzzle on average when you're starting off. Take 20 minutes. See the solution. It takes another 20 minutes. If you go through this, that's about 60, 70 hours of work. You'll go places. You cannot be in a position where you've not done this, where you've not covered this. And so figure out some way to weave that into your preparation to get a sense of what this LRDI is. If you see 4 previous year paper, then you'll say sequences, tournament, visualization, arrangement, circular arrangement, all of those definitions mean nothing. None of those mean anything. Ignore that and solve more puzzles. That's where you need to go to. And so this is a broad framework for maybe the top 5, 6 errors that can happen or misstep that can happen. I'm going to stop here. We're going to slip into the more structured part of our session. Hand over to Jatin to take you through verbal, and then I'll come back and have a go at LRDI. I'm stopping the share part, Jatin. Over to you.
By the way, good VRC meme, Rajesh. Thanks for representing VRC very well. All right. Okay. All right, folks. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to present my deck, and then we will get started. Just give me 1 second.
So Jatin struggles with the tech thing, so it may take a while.
Right. Just that, I have too many decks open. It's just too much of work. I have to say that in front of Rajesh, right? He's my boss. So I'm going to take this opportunity to tell him that there's lots of work.
Lots of work, yeah.
Exactly. Very important. Perceptions matter.
Yeah.
All right, people. So, okay, I hope you can see my presentation. Yes, I can see it on my YouTube. Right. So let's go through this. So as Rajesh said, right, this is the VRC section. Okay, I'm the head of VRC at 2M. So I'm going to take you through the VRC sort of preparation plan. Okay. Of course, I'll try to be concise because we have limited time. But I want to just touch on the most important details so that if you're starting from March, you can keep this in mind and embark on your preparation, VRC preparation, as soon as possible. Okay. All right. This is just one of my favorite memes that my team created long ago when this incident happened, right? The Will Smith incident long back. I mean, horrible incident, but just this is, of course, it's meme. It's all fun. don't make the mistake of deprioritizing VRC. Okay, believe me, a lot of students do this every year. My students don't, because I pretty much remind them in every class not to do this. But a lot of students end up doing this because they think, "Arey, VRC is just about reading. I've been reading all my life. I'll read, I'll clear." It doesn't work like that. Okay, it's not going to happen. And then also Quant has a very structured sort of curriculum. Okay, so then people gravitate towards it very naturally. And I think as Indians also, we have a tendency to gravitate towards math more than English. Again, it's a stereotype. But net, what I'm trying to say is don't make the mistake of deprioritizing VRC. It's 1/3 of your exam. All these 3 sections have equal weightage. And remember, there are schools like FMS that have a higher weightage for VRC. Okay, so remember that in mind as well. Okay, let's get started. So what is the secret to VRC, right? There's no secret, all right? I wish I could give you a secret, a hack, or a shortcut. There is no secret to VRC. There is no secret to cracking CAT as well. It is mastering basics, the first principles. You have to have a very strong foundation, and then you have to practice a ton of questions. It's as simple as that. So it's mastering the basics and putting in a lot of effort. Don't fall for hacks and shortcuts. It will just, it will lead you to a disastrous performance. Okay, so there's no secret to VRC. This is more like clickbait. No secret, no spell, no shortcut. The only thing that works for VRC is reading. It's as simple as that. Okay, so you will have to form a reading habit. There is no getting away from this. All right. Okay, reading is the bedrock. Reading is like the cornerstone. You will have to read. Now, at this stage, you might say that, oh, reading bores me. I don't like reading. I don't have a reading habit. See, all of that is okay. I understand that. But CAT doesn't care whether you like reading or not. CAT doesn't care whether you find reading boring. VRC is 1/3 of your exam. And if you want to score a high percentile in VRC, you will have to read. Okay, so if you approach it with a positive mindset, it will make your life easier. All right. Now, there is a 2-pronged prep strategy for VRC. One is part A is leisure reading. Okay, so there are 2 steps. Part A is leisure reading, and part B is what I call CAT reading. Okay, it's just a term that I've given just so that those 2 are in sync. I'll explain to you. Let's start with part A. Now, what does leisure reading entail, or what should it entail? This is where you spend time every day and consistently read a variety of sources: online magazines, newspapers, books, etc. Okay, and I'll go into details of what should you read, how much should you read, all of that. Okay, this is hobby. This is recreational reading. This is reading as a hobby. Okay, so it's very relaxed reading without any pressure. All right, and the goal here is to have fun with reading, fall in love with it, so that you can build a consistent reading habit. It's very important. See, VRC is all about reading. They're testing your reading skills. So if you don't have a consistent reading habit, how will you succeed? Right? So this part is very important and is often neglected. Rajesh was also pointing this out, right? That there's some students, you'll hear like one topper, okay, and he'll say that, I didn't leisure read. I just solved a few RCs, I did a few mocks, and I got a 99 plus percentile. But remember, often these students, right, already have a solid reading habit since childhood. Okay, and they kind of fail to sort of account for that. So don't fall for those exceptions, right? These are tried and tested strategies. You have to focus on leisure reading. So leisure reading is part A. Don't forget that. I'll go into details of that. Part B is what I call CAT reading. This is nothing but where you solve VRC questions. Okay, so anytime you're solving a VRC question, whether you're doing it as practice, whether you're doing it in class, whether you're doing it in your mocks, anytime you're solving a VRC question, that's CAT reading. So obviously you have to solve a ton of questions, right? This is where you have to do active and aggressive reading. So leisure reading is very relaxed and stress-free. CAT reading is very active and aggressive. So when you're solving an RC, you can't be like completely relaxed and slouch or lie on the bed and solve a question, right? That's not going to work. It has to be done in a very active and aggressive way, okay? And the goal is to learn the best-in-class VRC question strategies and practice a ton of questions. Okay, so you can say that leisure reading is kind of indirect. It's an approach thing that happens in the background. CAT reading is very direct and focused on the CAT VRC section. All right, okay, great. So this is just the structure, okay? And I'll go into details of leisure reading and a little bit of detail into CAT reading as well. Feel free to post your questions on Q&A. We'll come back to it, okay? But I hope this is making sense. All right, let's move on. Now let's talk about part A, leisure reading. Okay, what should you do here? First question is, how much should you read, or how much should I read? Okay. See, we're telling you to leisure read. I have a plan for you. This is a good plan. You can follow that. This is, it's worked for many of our students. So I thought I'll take you through it. If you're starting from zero, okay, let's assume that you have a zero reading habit right now. You haven't been reading at all. You don't have a reading habit. So you can start with 15 minutes a day. Okay. Start small. It's okay. You are in March. Okay. It's not like you have a long time to prepare for CAT, but it's okay. You're in March. You're starting at the right time. Start with 15 minutes a day. Okay. And everybody can spend 15 minutes a day for reading. Even a prime minister can spend 15 minutes. Okay. So nobody's that busy. So start with 15 minutes a day. Then go to 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 45 and 60 minutes, and do this in intervals of 2 weeks. This is the plan. So start with 15 minutes a day tonight. Do that for 2 weeks. Then go to 20, 30, 45, and 60. Gradually step up. So what happens is when you do it gradually, then you'll be able to sustain it. But if you start with something like, okay, I'm going to start by reading 1 hour a day, you won't be able to sustain it. Okay. So try this plan. Start with 15 minutes, gradually build it up. Of course, if you're in 30 minutes right now, you're already reading 30, don't go back to 15. Stick to 30 and then increase it to 45 and then 60. All right. Now, this does not include solving VARC questions. Remember, this is leisure reading. It's completely separate. So the time that you spend solving questions does not go to leisure reading. All right. This is different sources. I'll talk about those sources. All right. So, of course, and the objective is to enjoy reading it, right? That's the objective of leisure reading. Now, what should you read? I'll quickly take you through sources, right? There is Bharat's reading list. Our team will send you the link on chat. This is a 2IM initiative. It's very famous at the CAT world. It's basically leisure reading where we share articles at CAT level that will really help you build the reading skills required for CAT. Okay, so we'll send that link. Have a look at it. You can read newspapers, Hindu, Indian Express, Times of India, some examples. You can read online publications or magazines. I've listed some really good publications. The first 4 are free. Then the remaining ones are paid. All right. Okay. So Guardian, Smithsonian, Walrus, Economist, CAT also borrows from these sources. All right. Okay. Blogs, right? You can go for blogs as well. Non-fiction books, I've listed some. I'm not a big fan of non-fiction, but if you like that, read that. Aeon. Okay. Aeon is a fantastic website. It has essays. Now those essays are like 2,500, 3,000, 5,000 words long. Now, Aeon is complex. I can see Kirti talking about that. It is difficult. Aeon is very complex. So don't start with Aeon. Okay, start with what you're comfortable in and then slowly build it. The idea is that by the time of the CAT exam, you should be reasonably comfortable in reading Aeon because CAT does borrow passages from Aeon as well. All right. And of course, you can read fiction as well. I've listed some of the authors. Okay. Now, have a look at these sources. The whole idea is to mix it up. Don't get stuck on one source or one genre. Remember, you have to get familiar with different genres, right? A CAT passage can be business, tech, history, philosophy, psychology, anything. So keep mixing it up. Mix up genres, mix up authors so that you get familiar with different writing styles. And also start in your comfort zone and gradually step out. All right. This is very important because you have to remember leisure reading is a consistent reading habit that you have to continue till the exam. So don't start like with 1 hour and Aeon. Start gradually, start in your comfort zone, slowly step out of it. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So that was leisure reading. Part B of your strategy is CAT reading. Okay. This is where you solve questions. So leisure reading is part A, which we've covered. Now, what should you do in part B? Let's talk about that. Now, CAT reading, the first step is you need to learn effective reading strategies. So this is a part of VARC basics. Okay. See, CAT, it's very, very important to build your basics for CAT. And this is across the 3 sections. If your basics are not strong, you'll not be able to succeed in it. So VARC basics should be focused on effective reading strategies. You need to learn what is the right way to read for CAT. Okay, so that's what I call effective reading strategies. Then master the VARC strategies to solve RC, strategies to solve verbal ability. Then practice, obviously, and then mocks. Okay, so this kind of constitutes the CAT reading section, the part B of your strategy. Let's quickly go into each one of these points. effective reading strategies. Now, what is this? See, if you see the 2IM course, right? Again, as I said, CAT is all about first principles and building a foundation. And we at 2IM, especially Rajesh, is very, very particular about starting with basics, strengthening the basics before we move the students to intermediate and advanced questions. Because we firmly believe that that's the only way you succeed in CAT. All this hacks to crack CAT and shortcuts to crack CAT don't work, right? So you have to master the basics. So if you look at our course, I spent quite a few sessions on discussing effective reading strategies for CAT. So there are 8 effective reading strategies that I discussed with my students that tell them the right way to read CAT RCs and also leisure reading articles. Okay. But of course, if you're a 2IM student, that will be covered. But if you're not, there are some resources for you. There are these 2 sessions that I've done in the past. Our team will send you the links. Have a look at it. This will give you a glimpse of what effective reading strategies are. Okay, so you'll get the links and we'll attach it somewhere in the comments. Do go through that. But it's important. It's important to learn the right approach to reading a CAT passage or even leisure reading. All right. Okay, let's move on. There's also another book that I can recommend. We'll send you that link also. A fantastic book. It's called How to Read Better and Faster by Norman Lewis. One of my favorite books. It's quite a time-consuming book. Okay, it's an exercise book, so it'll take you like 1.5 2 months to complete. You'll have to spend like 20 minutes a day. If you think your comprehension is not great right now and you need extra help, I would strongly recommend this book. Okay, it's not everyone has to do it. But if you think that, okay, my comprehension is not good, I'm starting with 0 reading habit, I really need help with increasing my comprehension, improving my comprehension and speed, definitely check out this book. Get a physical copy. You'll probably get it for like $250, $300 on Amazon. We'll send you the link. Really, really good book. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Right. So the first step is, of course, your basics. Second is mastering VRC strategies. Now, here, what you should aim at is learning the right strategies to solve RC questions and VA questions. Okay. So each RC question type, whether it is main idea or inference or critical reasoning or extrapolation, they have different strategies that you need to learn. And similarly, verbal ability, each question type has strategies. What you should aim is that you should aim to learn the best in class tried and tested strategies. Okay, I mean, the CAT has been throwing these questions for years. So there are best in class tried and tested strategies. You need to master them. You need to learn those strategies and then do a lot of practice. Okay, so of course, the 2IM course obviously covers that. If you belong to another coaching institute, I'm sure they will cover that as well, but make sure to learn the best in class strategies here. Couple of videos here. We do Blitzkrieg every year where I solve past year questions on YouTube live. Okay, we've been doing it since 2020. So a couple of videos here, we'll send it on the chat as well. Please do have a look. That will give you a glimpse of like RC strategies and verbal ability strategies as well. There are a ton of like past paper videos, YouTube live sessions. So we'll share that with you. Have a look at it. Okay, then comes practice. Very, very important. Now, I've come up with like a broad schedule for you for practice. Again, it's not set in stone. You can tweak it according to your requirement, but this is the general schedule that you can follow if you're starting from March. In March, aim to practice 4 to 5 RCs a week, 8 to 10 VA questions a week. Okay, remember this is like, first I would suggest you build your leisure reading habit. Okay, get some momentum there. Start learning the strategies, learn about effective reading, start learning the RC and VA strategies, and then you can start practicing. I'm not saying do everything and then practice, but at least for the first 2 weeks, build your foundation and then slowly start practice. So in March, you can aim for 4 to 5 RCs a week, 8 to 10 VA questions a week. Okay. And always remember it's quality over quantity. So each and every question that you solve, please analyze it. If you're making a mistake, analyze the error. Analyze the question properly. That's where the learning comes from. The learning doesn't come from solving 100 questions without analysis. So quality over quantity. Okay. April, you can amp it up to 5 to 6 RCs, 10 to 12 VA questions a week. This is all weekly. Then May, and then June onwards. Okay. So it's a broad schedule. Feel free to tweak it based on your requirements. And also remember, like in May, June, you'll also start your mocks. So you can include that as well in your target. All right. Okay, so that's on the practice front. Mocks, we'll discuss it separately. And probably it's too early to talk about mocks, but we'll discuss it separately. But this is what I had in mind for VRC. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you. All right. Thank you, folks. I'll hand it over back to Rajesh. Sorry, Rajesh, you're on mute. Sorry.
I'm going to share screen again, then jump in. Once again, I hope the share screen thing is working fine. Jatin has set the bar very high for detailed preparation. I'm going to now pretend that my preparation is light because I want to spend more time on Q&A.
Right.
So I'm just going to take it more generically. What should you do? There was a very long, detailed video on what to do in CAT for each of these sections, especially for Quant and LRDI, which we did about 3 weeks ago. Requested Abhishek to share the detail for that, and that's a wonderful video. A lot of depth we do, date, month-wise, week-wise, with topic-wise focus on that. And so probably look at that, because I'm going to use this time to provide the context for it. The more detail-driven one is sitting there, not here. And so I have broadly broken preparation schedule for each section into 3 parts. One is the foundation building part. And so you learn the EC set, you understand what is a market share, what is revenue per unit, what is a pie chart, what is a bar graph, what is a line graph, all of that, and what is sequencing, what is arrangement, what is the basic puzzle framework and logical reasoning. Focus on kind of questions that will never appear in CAT. And don't worry about being relevant or CAT ready. Build fundas brick by brick for about 3 months. This goes into the second part, which is skill development, which is basically increase the variety. Worry about how quickly you're doing time, and think about how well you can capture data. And so the ball game in verbal ability is language comfort, which comes from tons of leisure reading. Ball game in Quant is thorough fundas. Ball game in LRDI is variety. Super important to do lots and lots of puzzles, but of different types. Jatin mentioned very clearly, he says it's quality over quantity. In LRDI, it's variety over quantity. So if you do 60 questions of similar templates, that's not going to help you. But if you do 30 that are each different from the other, each bringing something else to the fore, then you're going to be much better prepared for the 31st one. It is impossible to predict the type of questions in CAT. If you take all the last CAT questions, all of us who are providing mocks, there'll be no question in our book, which is very similar to that. Because LRDI is vast and you can mix 2 ideas and create a third one. So you cannot templatize and crack logical reasoning and data. You cannot create an airtight syllabus of templates and crack it. So you have to go to the other extreme. You have to go to the, not the other extreme, the other side, where you say, look, I'm going to solve many different things with variety so that I get better at figuring out the new funda. So variety is super crucial. That's what you add in the middle 3 months. The last 3 months is when you take a ton of mocks, do a lot of LRDA sets from mocks, and then the time pressure element, the question selection element, the revisiting and filling gaps element take up. So this part is going to be about variety. This part is about test pressure. Sitting between these two somewhere is previous year question. We've already covered that. The best LRDI puzzles sit in the previous year question. They're fabulous, well designed. They give you a good sense of exactly what CAT is about. Very often students do not complete this. Have a good plan. Actual questions from 2017 to 2024 are available. 17, 18, 19 were all sections where there were only 2 sessions in CAT, more questions in the LRDA section. From 2021 onwards, it is 3 sessions, fewer questions, fabulous question. They give you the perfect idea of what CAT level is. 17, 18, 19 questions are simpler. 24, 23, 22 questions are tougher. The range gets covered, the style gets covered. You get a sense of, oh, this is what CAT is about. So make sure that whatever you do, you never miss out on previous year questions. And so the common patterns in learning logical reasoning formats, super important. Soon enough, you have to go towards variety and focus heavily on previous year CAT. In the first 6 months, don't worry about question selection. When it comes to mocks and section test, worry about question selection. And the more detail-driven, specifics-driven part is given in the video, which Abhishek has just now shared. Go through that. That is a complete schedule for how do you go cracking topic by topic for LRDI Quant and verbal also, and in detail. What should you do in March, April, May, June? So have a look at that. Quant, again, is funda building, speed building, mocks. Right? This is the broad theme that you'll follow. So you do learn a lot of things. You practice and get speed because of how you practice. Then you worry about question selection. Topic-wise, we've already covered this. Start with arithmetic, dive down on arithmetic, become the king or queen of arithmetic, put it in the bag, then go towards either geometry or algebra, depending on what you're comfortable with. Then go to the other one, then go to number systems and permutation problems. That's your topic progression. The idea progression, funda first, speed next, mock finally. And so super important to put arithmetic in the bag. I know I've been a bore about this. I'm not going to take another 5 minutes saying why arithmetic is super important. But arithmetic can help you clear all section cutoffs and go beyond 92, 93rd percentile if you do just that. And so it's a super crucial topic, and it sets the base for getting comfortable with the tougher ideas in mathematics. And so conquer arithmetic before stepping out. Arithmetic is the absolute ball game. So it's just the most dominant topic, contributing 40% of the section almost in every cat, sometimes even 50%. And you get that 50% right, you're looking at 93, 94th percentile just with that. If you get everything right, you're looking at 97, 98. This is the key part of preparing for this. So in terms of how you should think about it, I hear a lot of students having this feeling that they simply are uncomfortable with mathematics. And this math creates a phobia for every type of subject, be it art or diagram drawing or biology or geography. And people who are fascinated by it, people who are like have a distaste for it. I've selected math because one, I'm a math guy, and two, the passions or feelings attached with math are very sharp. Guys who love math, they're drawn to numbers. Just like, oh my God, give me some more of it. I'm enjoying this. It's a beautiful idea. There's a pattern sitting here. And one of our guys, Raghu, he takes classes for us. Then he came and said, look, I saw a vehicle number, a 4-digit vehicle number. First 3 terms were in GP. The last 3 digits were in AP. No zero in it. It's fascinated by it. I'm thinking, are there any other numbers? Most of us are looking at number plates and then saying, look, not really reading the number. The math guys will be like, oh, very wonderful number. 3 digits in GP, 3 digits in AP, then 4 digits in the sequence, no zero in it. Is there one more number like this, or is this number unique? And then that entire journey on your bike or car is like cracking that. And it's fun. It's fun for some kinds of crazy people. And so the point I'm trying to make is not for you to say, hey, this is how you should learn math. But it really helps if you have a sense of, hey, this can be a joyful thing. I can really enjoy this. I think I should figure out ways of enjoying this rather than calling it a bunch of formulae, equations, and problem solving thing. It can make the whole CAT preparation thing a more joyous ride. We at 2IIM are very, very, very particular that learning be with a sense of joy, with a sense of discovering something, uncovering something. Our course, our pedagogy, our teachers, our style, everything is tuned to that. And we're very particular that only then ideas will stick in your head. Only then ideas will stick in your head. Only then you're having some kind of fun while learning. Super important. So I'm going to sign off on this. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And wait a second. Stop screen.
And I just wanted to say that Quant is a lot of fun. I agree. But VRC is the most amount of fun. Quant is a great section. I agree with that, but VRC is the best section. Okay, just take my word for it, people. Take my word. Yeah. Okay, trust me on this. Trust me, bro. Yeah.
Ekdam.
But the data, Rajesh, unfortunately proves otherwise. We ran a poll just now, which is your favorite section. It's still going on. It's early days.
Okay.
Data unfortunately proves otherwise. I think more people are voting for Quant. So the poll is still on. I'm going to try and rig it. Please vote for VRC, man. Like I want VRC to win on YouTube.
What is your favorite section, Cat? Okay.
Yeah.
मेरा तो obvious है तो I shouldn't be voting.
VRC, right?
VRC, what else?
Correct.
What else? Easily.
Correct. मेरा भी obvious है. Quant. Yeah. So and there is another poll that we did. What's your take on DLR? It said 50% like it, 25% love it, and 25% said we're getting there. Don't like it right now, but I'm getting. Yeah.
Nice. So we'll take some questions, people. So Abhishek has put together a few more memes, which are still there. Maybe we will take it while sharing it and having a crack at it. But we'll take questions before going there. So any one of you who wants to fire away, we'll do about 10-12 minutes of Q&A and then sign off with a bunch of Abhishek memes. So fire away. Both of us are here. If you have anything specific, fire away.
I think there was, I'm just going to scroll up. I think there was some.
Soumya is saying I'll vote for VARC n times. As a mathematician, I'm saying n can be 1 or 0.
Okay, let me scroll up. I think there was some questions.
Okay, Trinivasi, that is true. Jatin did get 100% accuracy score in Quant.
Yes.
Let me put it this way. There was 1 year where he got everything right, but a bunch of other years where he got nothing wrong.
That's hilarious.
But okay. That's also there.
That's it. We're not getting into the details. The devil is in the details.
The devil is in the details.
No details. No details. This is more than enough. So there are some questions. Rajesh, I'm just scrolling up. There is one question. Akib is spamming out. Hey, Akib, by the way. Okay. Veda is saying, I have a gap year for 2 years after doing UG because I prepare for state government exam that I want to give CAT. This time, is it possible to join ABCs with a gap year of 2 years?
It's very much possible. See, to be honest, all of you need to get this thing. We also did a video on this. When you take CAT, you see if I can share the screen. There's one very relevant screen for this. You see if I can do this with the share screen thing. I said I won't do this, but hey, I think this thing could go with the screen share thing. Give me a second. And so this is what goes into your pot. These are broad things. It was a year ago. Maybe they'll change the format for this year, next year. We don't know. But whenever you're looking at getting a call, your these schools look at 5 things: your class 10 mark, your class 12 mark, your undergraduation mark, your work experience, and your CAT score. Sometimes diversity gets added. Sometimes 1 or 2 of these get dropped. The weightages are there. So what the weightages are, therefore, which college is more suitable for you. If your 10th mark is low, 12th mark is high, all of that, you figure that out. You can do later on. The point I'm trying to make is not that. The point I'm trying to make is notions of where your experience has been, how a gap year has played a role in your career path cannot get captured. Remember, Ahmedabad and Harvard are different in many ways. Both are competitive. In Harvard, for about 900 seats, they have 8,000 applicants. And they think it's an extraordinary applicant to convert ratio and say, look, so many people are applying to Harvard and they pat themselves on the back. I'm Ahmedabad for or Bangalore or Calcutta or Lucknow. For about 600 seats, they have 1.25 lakh applicants or more. You just have to put a checkbox, right? And then you're applying for IIM Ahmedabad automatically. So because of that, none of these IIMs can really look at any part of your profile with any seriousness. You're a genius debater. You're a part of Toastmasters. You've acted in a movie. You're a Olympic swimmer. You're a script writer. You're a blogger. You have the giant fund following. You're a social media genius. None of that can be captured. So class 10, class 12, UG, work experience, CAT. Work experience, how does it get captured? How many months of experience do you have? If it is 24, you get some number of marks. You get 28, you get some number of points. And then it gets attached to a weightage, and then it goes and sits into a composite score, and then you get called for interviews. So if you have a gap year, it won't play a role in step 1. It plays a role in step 2. When you're sitting in the interview, and then they ask you, oh, this is very nice, you're here, but I see for 24 runs you've been twiddling your thumbs. Why not? Why should we select you? And then you say, look, I'm not actually twiddling my thumbs. I was involved in this. I did a series of activities. I was committed to this. Oh, so you wanted to get into a government job, Sarkari Naukri pe, you want so much. So why don't you go there? Why are you here? Then you answer that. And so, but the point I'm trying to make is not how you answer it or how you prepare for it. That's a battle too. What I'm trying to make is none of those things, my profile, my weakness, my gap, why I shifted careers, why is my experience broken, why did I go, I'm an engineer, but I did a marketing job. None of those will matter. None of those feature at step one. You get a seat on the table, then all of those will start mattering. So I've stopped sharing. So you get a seat on the table. That is when your your discussions come in from there. And so all of you are worried about gap and preparation and between before 12 standard, after 12 standard, before after UG, all of that. Forget about it.
Right.
Shreya, sir, I want to know in full detail about the pattern. Sorry, Jatin, go for it.
No. Please go ahead. I'll come back to it. I was answering
a
former question. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know in full detail about the pattern for each and every section. How many questions in each section? 24, 22, 22, plus 3 for right answer, minus 1 if it is wrong and MCQ, minus 1 if it is theta. I mean 0, negative if it is theta question. Again, you can find all of this information on Wikipedia. Yeah, nothing in there. I have some data on scores and percentile. Maybe with some other question, I'll share that as well.
Right.
Ganesh Kumar, I've covered.
Rajesh,
Yep.
sorry, one question from before. I just want to make sure that's covered.
Yep.
Somadeep is saying, is it enough? Do I have enough time to crack 25 if I start from scratch? And he says, I'm bad in math.
100% you have time. Don't bypass, don't rush to formulae and shortcuts. Don't say, अब तो time ही नहीं बचा, मैं कुछ तो ऐसे ही जुगाड़ कर लेता हूँ. Don't do that. Lots of people, when they say, I've been so poor in math in 6th, 7th, 8th, can I crack CAT? I say, look, you can crack CAT, but you cannot crack CAT by saying, I'll continue to be poor. You can learn 6th, 7th, 8th maths very well, get comfortable in it in 4 months' time, prepare for this exam, amp up your speed in another 2 months, take a bunch of mocks, and then get 97th percentile in Quant. Feel cool. So there is enough time to learn from scratch. Don't think there's time shortage and therefore you have to do a jugaad. Every time, I don't know if you've noticed this, the kind of stuff that you're comfortable in, you don't rush. You do quickly, but you're not hasty. You act in a frenzy only in things where you're not confident of what you're doing. It's people who cook. Some masterful cooks will cook 4 items. They're done. People who cook for the first few times, they're not sure. They've called people over. They'll make 11 items. A part of their brain is saying, "Agar ye theek nahi raha, to wo ho jayega. Wo nahi hai, to ye ho jayega." And then they'll order 2 more things. Ye dukaan se aise hi le liya to. And so, but you have to build your ability from fundamentals and build that confidence slowly. It won't come overnight. Don't have a preparation strategy that bypasses learning fundamentals. Have a preparation strategy that goes through that hard part of learning.
Yeah. By the way, sorry, Rajesh. Nishant, I don't know if you're still there, but hey, Nishant, sorry, I just saw your message. Nishant is our former student. I think he's completed his MBA this year. He's from IIM Bangalore. He always comes in live sessions, which is it always brings a smile to my face. So hey, Nishant, and Sharda as well. Sharda joined in, Rajesh, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, Sharda. Sharda is joining us from IIM Ahmedabad. So
lovely.
All right.
So you can take the guys out of 2IIM. You cannot take 2IIM.
Correct. And we didn't ask them to join in, by the way. Okay, we're not one of those channels. These people come in organically.
Not because we don't want to. We don't have the capability to. बात philosophy की नहीं है, औकात की है.
True. सही बात है. बिल्कुल सही बात है. ये भी सही है.
Ganesh Kumar, I've covered fundamentals in arithmetic, algebra, and numbers. I have trouble recalling or forgot the concepts. What can I do? You learn, you revisit, you revise, you keep amping up slowly. And so learning happens in a spiral. You learn percentages, profit and loss, ratios, mixture, speed, time. By that time, percentage will have gone out of your system. Revisit it. Second time happens quicker, better. And then third time it falls in place better. It is iterative and continuous. And so keep that in mind, but you do that, it will fall in place. Don't worry that it will happen. 100% it will. How to manage 3 sections equally? You don't need to manage them equally. Big part of verbal is leisure reading. Do that. Big part of learning is going to be driven by Quant because the syllabus drives the learning. Mocks are equally split. Practice also has to be equally split. Don't fall into this trap of doing too much of Quant. And Jatin gets annoyed if that happens, and with very good reason. Because quant tends to dominate the syllabus. So if you go to join a course, 60% of the classes are quant. So your mind gets occupied with quant. It's only one of three equal sections. And so don't fall into the trap of, look, we keep jostling with each other saying which is the more important section, but jokes apart, don't fall into this trap of giving quant psychologically more weightage in your head because syllabus and everybody is talking. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at what questions to answer.
Yeah, I can answer one, Rajesh.
Yeah, go for it.
So Tejas, you're saying that you converted IIM Kozhikode executive MBA for 3+ work experience. That was eligibility, and then you left it, and now you're going for a full-time MBA, even with 3.5 work ex, and you wanted our take on this. Okay, so Tejas, I'm going to give you my personal take on this, right? And Rajesh will also chime in. See, exec MBA, although the eligibility on paper is 3 years or 4 years, you will see that the batch has an average of 6-7 years of work experience in an exec MBA. And I think I personally feel an exec MBA makes sense when you have like 6, 7, 8 years of work experience, right? Although the eligibility is 3+3 on paper. So I think your decision is right, in my opinion, that you're thinking of doing a full-time MBA, even with 3.5 work ex. Yes, of course, there is that question that, oh, you've crossed 36 months of work experience. So certain companies you won't be eligible for sitting for their interviews, for placements in the B school. That does happen once you cross 36 months. But listen, that's a small section of companies, right? You'll still be eligible for some great opportunities and some great companies and roles. So in my opinion, yes, this is a good decision because exec MBA requires like 6, 7, 8 years of experience. It makes sense at that stage.
And 3.5 years is nothing.
Nothing.
We guys used to join, experienced candidate used to be the minority. Now the median experience is 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you hang out with a bunch of guys with 2 years experience and you don't feel old or out of place. When you Jatin arrive and you go to a campus, we'll be like, look, I can hang here, man. so I'm sure you can hang there. So don't worry.
Right. Yeah. No, good decision, Tejas. I think it's the right decision. Yeah. All the best for your prep and your journey ahead.
Shashank VP, I'm of above average intellect. Is 6 hours a day enough? If 6 hours a day is more than enough. I would recommend fewer hours per day, but super intense hours, good balance, more than enough. Yeah. Shreya, I'm from a non-engineer background. Is it possible to 100%? When engineering or stuff, kuch bhi link nahi hai. Lots of engineers that I know used to have this hang up. They used to be like, quant is supposed to be easier for engineers. It is simply not easy for me. Maybe all the other engineers are really good. Am I the only engineer who's not happy doing quant? So if you think I'm not an engineer, I'm struggling with quant, there are lots of engineers who are thinking, I'm supposed to know this stuff, and I don't know this stuff. I know BA literature grads who are really worried about their verbal. Like, I'm a literature grad, but I'm really weak at this. And so it happens. The grass is greener on the other side. The idea that quant is easier for engineers comes with a little bit of a selection bias. The number of people who are engineers in our country is gigantic. Huge pot. Number of those applying for MBA is also gigantic. The sheer volume. The number of high quality engineers is again very high because they have to clear a couple of exams to get those seats, and therefore they're able to feel at ease preparing for competitive exams. Because of all those factors, it seems like engineers have an advantage. Those kids who are prepared for JEE and done well and are prepared and have the ability to prepare have an advantage. You ask them to prepare for UPSC, they'll have an advantage. You prepare for CAT, you will have an advantage. The advantage is linked to preparation and temperament and ability to work hard, not linked to what they learn in engineering. So any engineering graduate out here, don't stand on a hill and say, look, I'm the king of quant, prepare. Anybody who's not an engineer, find a hardcore nerd engineer and say, oh, hey, you and I, we're going to go toe-to-toe on this. I'll also put that.
Yeah. Rajesh, I think we should go to the questions in the
Google form.
Yeah, because people like somebody reminded, and I think it's fair, right? Because they did put in a lot of questions. Yeah, we should probably take some questions from there.
Yeah.
So Subhash is here, by the way. Hey, Subhash.
Hey, Subhash. Hi.
Subhash is also a 2M alumni. He used to work here as well, so he's also on a mock interviewer panel. Hey, Subhash.
I recently met Subhash in a very wonderful setting a few months ago. He was getting married.
Oh yeah. You went for the wedding. Nice. Yes. Should we present the deck? Do we have a presentation, Abhishek, for the deck, or should we just go through the questions from the form?
I think going through the questions from the form might help.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have.
You want to have a start?
Yeah. Sure. I'm just looking at. Okay, people. I'm just looking at the form now, and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Okay. Just hold on. Let me pick one question.
I'm going to keep answering questions on chat as well.
Sure. I think Rajesh, you have the PPT for that, the questions PPT. But I'll pick one question from here anyway.
Okay.
Wait 1 second. I'm gonna just hang in there, folks. Anirudh, since you said, let me look for your question. We'll try to answer as many, but let's start with Anirudh's question. Okay, Anirudh, I think you've put in a bunch of questions. I don't think we'll be able to answer all of them, but let me pick some questions here. Okay. Right, Rajesh, I think we should take this question. So Anirudh is saying he's a working professional. If I could spend only 2 hours per day for CAT prep, and if I have to start my CAT prep from scratch, will I be able to come out with flying colors in CAT?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Don't worry about it. 100% should be able to. 2 hours per day is sufficient. The benchmark for me is give or take 15 hours per week. Starting now, that's roughly 2 hours per day. 2 hours per day, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And Anirudh, sorry, Rajesh, go ahead.
I have these questions in a nice PPT form. Can I just open that and we can attack it really rapidly?
Since we're on Anirudh's questions, I'll just finish that part.
Yeah.
So Anirudh, you also said, if so Rajesh said, it's definitely possible. How do you schedule and framework? So we will share more details towards the end about that. So hang in there. Also, see, for work experience folks, just from past experience, right? There are people who do it consistently through the week, right? And there are people who are only able to invest a few hours in a week because of their hectic work schedule and amp it up at the weekend. Both the strategies work. Okay. But 2 hours, if you're spending more per day, as Rajesh said, it's more than enough. And it's again, people, it's more about quality over quantity, right? So these are, CAT is not like your boards where you'll spend like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours preparing. That is not how it works, right? So no, but 2 hours per day for a work experience professional is really good. There's one more question, which again, Anirudh asked it, so I want to talk about it. What's 2Amp's USP? There are few USPs, okay, in my opinion. One, Rajesh has already spoken about that. Our tagline and something that we really live by is you start from the basics and you learn with joy. Okay, and we really stand by this. Rajesh especially is very particular about this. So basics is a very big component of our curriculum because we firmly believe there's no other way to crack CAT. Okay, so we really focus on basics, and learning with joy is also very important. So if you come to our classes, right, you will see that students are learning a lot, but also having fun in an easygoing atmosphere, right? So that's a USP, I think. And second, I would say all our teachers are extremely passionate about the subject that they teach. And many of them, give the CAT every year and score 99+ percentile every year as well. So I would say those are probably the 2 USPs. Of course, Rajesh is the third USP, but that's also there. Sorry, Rajesh, we want to add something.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think our guys are super into. We care passionately about breaking ideas down and teaching, and that reflects pretty well in the way the course is structured. Easy people to hang with. So there's a certain comfort over asking a doubt or query or taking some mentorship. That helps. So I'm going to go to the questions and rattle them off a little rapidly. I think we'll suddenly start running short of time.
Sure.
I'm going for give me a second. But if we miss out on these questions, I'll tell you we will shoot videos of these and put them on YouTube. Having attempted CAT before, I find myself spending too much time completing the concept recording for Quant, leaving no time for practice. How can I balance both effectively? Understand that the concept building part is never going to be complete, and it is iterative, because you sometimes set yourself pressure saying, look, I have to finish all the theory, then go for questions. When that happens, and when you take the question, you've forgotten something, you feel like you've betrayed yourself in the learning part. Learning is never complete and absolutely done and dusted. You'll learn, do a bunch of questions, discover a gap, fill it, revisit, do a bunch of questions. So be kinder on yourself if some learning part is not complete. It's not meant to be complete. Right? You have to do it iteratively. Learn topics, revise them, take practice tests, learn 2 more topics, come back to the first topic. You have to learn it in a spiral fashion. I need clarity on how to prepare for CAT. Is it okay to take a break from study? No, 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 no. Do not quit your job to prepare for CAT. If you're in a good job, don't quit it. If you're in an average job, don't quit it. If you're in a bad job, don't quit it. If you don't have a job, find a job. And so I'm a giant fan of people having jobs. It's a beautiful part of the learning experience for you. Don't go towards the idea of preparing full time for CAT. Some have the privilege or luxury of not having to earn and not having to worry about a career and money and all of that. If you have that, then you're super lucky. Use it, think about it. But otherwise, a job can take you places. CAT is hit or miss. As a working professional, how can I balance both work and CAT preparation effectively? We have covered this. 15 hours per week, either on weekends or on weekdays, depending on what kind of style you have. I don't have strong communication skills. Should I practice daily and weekly to improve my fluency? Part 2. Interview happens a good 3 months after CAT gets over. Just don't put the cart before the horse. Crack CAT. You'll have enough time to work on this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Yeah, on the communication skills, absolutely. I mean, agree with Rajesh. You have your interviews coming up next year. But also, if you think that you need like a marked improvement in your communication skills, don't focus on it, but start working on it a little bit. Like, very much in the background. So one app that I use for French, I'm trying to learn French, but failing, is Duolingo. Okay, so Duolingo also has an intermediate English option. Okay, where it will help you to go from intermediate to like intermediate plus or advanced. So try Duolingo. It will really help you improving in your English. Other things that you can do for your communication skills is, try to work on your public speaking skills, because that also really comes in handy. But all of this can be in the background. I think Duolingo is something that you can, if you think you need improvement in English, you can download it right away and just do like 10-15 minutes a day. And then you'll see that in some months, your English improves. Okay. Yeah.
Lovely. Should I start learning about my core subjects? Again, not necessary now. Focus on CAT and then fight that battle later. How can I be more consistent and disciplined in my preparation? Stuff. I like the idea of having preparation buckets in weekly boxes, not daily boxes. Sometimes I find the daily part to be too intense. I feel like I'm always missing out, and I worry. I start feeling guilty and losing intensity. I need to feel nice about myself in order to crack this really well. So I think of it as, look, I need to get 14 hours, 15 hours a week. So if I have a bad couple of days, then I can guilt trip myself into throwing in more after that. But I'm not killing myself after every day. Understand that there'll be days that don't go your way. Understand that an absolutely disciplined schedule really works magically, but we live in uncertain times. A job can come calling, an end semester can come calling. Those things do take away time. We're not living in a fantasy world. In the real world, we need to give attention to something. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to be ridiculously consistent all the time. I haven't fully prepared for CAT 25 yet. I would rate my preparation at around 2 out of 10. The work pressure, I haven't been able to give my best. How can I scale up to a 10 out of 10 in terms of effort and understanding? Draw up a schedule, 100% draw up a schedule. Draw up a schedule which is not super detailed, because then every miss feels like a crime. Say I'm going to put 15 hours a week from now on. Let bygones be bygones. But I can still cover all the topics, still cover the syllabus, still be super ready. I won't be so bad on myself just because Tuesday and Wednesday were bad because my brain wasn't working. I'll come back on Thursday and Friday, but I won't kill myself. Give yourself some grace. Super important. It's a long battle. It's a 9-month ride from now on. It's not a 3-week thing or a 4-week thing. So don't set super ambitious strategies and targets for yourself and run the risk of feeling super disappointed. I've started in January, been solving quant problems regularly. Brilliant. Also read daily. I find the time sufficient for this along with my college work. Brilliant. How to manage DILR? When should I start solving DILR problem? Well, there's a beautiful video for this, how to go about this. Share some time management tips. Maybe we'll do. I think quite a few of you are asking how to manage, how to be disciplined, how to do time management. I've been very reluctant to have a go at it because I have a rather poor track record of being hyper disciplined. But having said that, maybe some tricks that work for me could work for others, or something that I've read, which maybe I've not been able to implement, but work wonders for others. People share how to be disciplined, how to have a time schedule, a bag of tricks. You will do that. How can non-engineering students prepare effectively for the quant section? You've covered that. How do I revise quant effectively? Again, we have covered that iteratively by revisiting. Forgetting the concept is very natural. It's part of the learning process. I struggle with time management. My mentor suggested that I study for at least 3 hours apart from classes. Working professional, like sometimes, this 3 hours per day after attending classes for 2 hours, it's very tough. Set yourself a bucket target, saying, hey, 14, 15 hours in a week. And then ride with it. Do not set yourself a super ambitious every day I have to turn up for 2 hours, 3 hours thing, because that becomes stressful, and it's how do I phrase this? It is an unrealistic expectation. Be a little careful.
Yeah, and also one tip that I completely agree. I think, if you set unrealistic targets, then what happens is if you won't be able to meet them, and then you'll feel dissatisfied, and that kind of bogs you down and affects your preparation more, right? One thing that I always tell my students is that, okay, fine, you have, let's say, a 2-hour target. You've decided that I'll come back from work on a Wednesday evening and prepare for 2 hours. And then you realize that you've had a very hard day. Your boss shouted at you, or you had like a ton of work, or you had to stretch at work. And then you come back and realize I don't have 2 hours. Now, instead of doing nothing, do 20 minutes or do 30 minutes, right? Of course, try to stick to your target, but some days, work, life will get in the way, and it's okay, right? It's fine, but just do like 30 minutes or even 20 minutes, do a few quant problems or maybe one RC, just to keep the momentum going. That really helps you. I learned that from Atomic Habits. It really helps me, and it's helped a lot of students as well. So keep that in mind. Okay.
Lovely, guys. I think I've had we've pretty much covered all the questions. The last 2 questions were related to schedule, which is a detailed schedule, and Abhishek has shared the link, and for non-engineers, which again we have covered. So I'm going to sign off, but after a brief reversion to memes.
And we spoke about a surprise as well, right? We have to unveil that surprise. Yes, yeah.
So I'm not going to. I think I'm going to hand over to Abhishek to unveil that surprise.
Yeah. I think Abhishek should do it. I agree. Yes.
In the meanwhile, I'm going to just share these memes. I'm not going to speak much about it. Don't get cynical.
Rajesh, we should run. I've been thinking of running a meme contest on our 2M socials. And I've been telling our students for months, but we haven't done it. I think it's time. I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Folks, what do you guys think? What do you guys think on chat? Tell us. Would you like a? I know Jelvin is there. Jelvin is our meme expert student. But folks, would you like a meme contest on socials where you can send us memes and then let us? My time has come. Is what Jelvin is saying, and we can have a few prizes. We'll have fun with it. Let us know if there's interest in chat.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm all up for it.
Awesome.
I think these memes are just to well, they're very contextual, very brilliantly collected by Abhishek. Thanks, Abhishek. Oh, Jatin, you love this.
Wait 1 second. Let me see this. In Middle America without Erica, you can't prepare for VRC. Ah, lovely. I love it.
People are saying I'm struggling with discipline and schedules and all that. Abhishek has answers to all these questions.
It's in memes.
In memes. In meme, we speak.
Yes.
This is also actually very true. It's actually very true. Sometimes memes drive home an idea in ways of like text or video.
Yeah, visual. Yeah. I'm actually very bad at memes. Even like curating memes, I'm bad at it, let alone creating them.
This is actually brilliant. I love this one. I'm sure you guys know who Sadio Mane is. Those of you who follow football know. I'd be stunned and appalled if you didn't know who this guy is. This is the original Ronaldo. So El phenomenon. Brilliant player. Once again, VRC comes to the fore.
By the way, people, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this session. We always forget to say that. And the small surprise that we had is Abhishek asked us to do it. So the team has created a full schedule for you. I know you guys love schedule, right? That's a question that we get often. So he shared the link with you. All these links we'll put it in the description, in the pinned comment after the session. But check out that schedule. That will help you to structure your preparation.
So the schedule link is available there. Please click through and have a crack at it. We've shared the memes as well. We have spilled over on our time target by a little bit. That usually happens.
Yeah.
We like chatty and shooting the breeze, and it spills over like that. It's still plenty of time. Those of you who are thinking, look, is now a good time to start? Yes, indeed it is. No doubt about it. Is there enough time to prepare? 100% yes. Not with any gimmicky, weird time schedule, but by being diligent and careful about it. So have some fun preparing. Prepare with sense of I don't know how to pronounce that. Have with fun. Right? So those of you who have a good outlet for releasing stress, you like to sing or dance or play, and stick onto that, hang on to that. Really helps in this journey. Sign up. Be ambitious. Put your hat in the ring and go on this ride. Don't sit on the fence. Don't sit at the boundaries of your ambition. Okay, one day I will also do this and see how it goes. Maybe I will perhaps think about trying to evaluate the possibilities of having a stab at one preparation schedule, perhaps. No. Jump in, commit to it, prepare. The results are uncertain, but the processes generally are foolproof. They help you in a million ways. With that, we're signing off.
Yeah, and
best wishes to all of you.
One last message, folks. Yeah, I would strongly encourage you, if you're a non-2AM student, sign up as a trial user. Abhishek has sent that link. You can access 40 hours of content for free on our website. You can see our content. You can see how our teachers teach. Have a look at it. It's completely free, no strings attached. And you can get a free demo session as well. So all the contact details are available. Please get in touch with the team. We'll be more than happy to give you a free demo session. Check it out. And then if you want to join, then more than welcome. All right. Okay. Great. Thank you very much, folks. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Thank you very much, folks. Over to you, Abhishek, to kind of sign us out and make us say goodbye now. Best wishes.
Okay. Bye, folks. Thank you.